5 News This Morning starts now.
Well, as students gear up for school sports, experts say it's important to watch out for signs of concussions. 5 News reporter Jacob Luthi will join us with advice for parents and coaches.
And as we're waking up this morning, sun's about to rise. We're starting to see some of that fog settle in, especially there in Poto. Otherwise, a partly to mostly sunny start. We'll talk more about the week ahead coming up.
Think of a man of steel and velvet.
Arkansas leaders are remembering a state senator who served parts of the River Valley. More on the life and legacy of Senator Gary Stubblefield.
A live look outside in Ozark here at 6:30. Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us. Bit of a foggy morning out there in that area if you're driving through Ozark.
Yeah, and again, I've said this before, and I'm not going to go too deep into the science, but whenever you get that warmer air kind of moving over, or cooler air over warmer bodies of water, condenses, you have that fog. That's why we always say.
So maybe just that area of Ozark.
Yeah, and some areas are seeing a little bit more than others, especially along bodies of water. We'll kind of show you that here in a little bit. Here's another kind of look at the fog. So you can see kind of near Siloam Springs, we're seeing some fog, near Sallisaw, near Poto. So I think anywhere along the Arkansas River Basin, we're seeing a lot more fog, as well as anywhere that's kind of near rainfall that had yesterday. So most of it is kind of concentrated in some spots. You can see Siloam Springs down to 0 mile visibility. Otherwise, it's not too shabby. I'm looking out at some of our cameras here. Springdale's looking okay. Poto, it's reduced there. Parts of Fort Smith is reduced. So again, closer you are to bodies of water, I think a little bit of a better chance of seeing it. Otherwise, in terms of actual cloud cover, we'll see partly cloudy skies in the River Valley, mostly sunny in northwest Arkansas, and eventually that'll thin out. If you're headed off to the bus stop, we'll have that areas of fog, temperatures in the 60s. So just be careful heading out the door today. By recess or lunchtime, it'll be nice in the 70s, and a little bit on the warmer side. Temperatures will be in the 80s there as we're heading home, and maybe some close to 90. Now, in terms of rainfall, we could see maybe up to an inch in some spots, and most of this will fall Friday night into Saturday. So we'll talk more about that rain chance, get you ready for the rest of the week ahead. Coming up in your full forecast. For now, take a live look at traffic on this Wednesday morning. Take a live look along Highway 412 at Sonora over Beaver Lake. And as I mentioned, you can see obviously the body of water, a little bit of that fog, especially elevated. So again, just be mindful as you're heading out the door. It's at its densest as we get closer to sunrise. So over the next hour or so, it could be pretty dense at times. Otherwise, should be a very nice day. We'll talk about that full forecast coming up in about 15 minutes. Joe and Tiffany.
All right, thanks for that. Well, students head back to school and fall and sports pick back up. It is a good time to talk about concussions. It's an injury that can be easy to miss, but hard to ignore.
Yeah, 5 News reporter Jacob Luthi spoke with a local concussion expert about what parents and coaches need to watch for. I mean, I remember in high school, people being out just a week for concussions and maybe not taking it as seriously as they needed to.
Yeah, absolutely. Athletes both young and old, well, they often push through injuries to stay in the game. But when it comes to concussions, doctors warn that playing through the pain can actually double the recovery time. And that's why awareness and education are crucial, especially as school sports gear up for the new season. Now, concussions can present in many ways, but common symptoms include headaches, dizziness, nausea, sensitivity to light or noise, irritability, and changes in sleep or behavior. Dr. R.J. Elbin, director of the Office for Sport Concussion Research at the University of Arkansas, says concussions don't always show obvious signs. That's why he stresses the importance of coaches, parents, officials, and league administrators recognizing the symptoms and taking them seriously. Collision sports like football, soccer, hockey, lacrosse, and wrestling carry a higher risk due to frequent high-impact contact. For sports that require helmets, Dr. Elbin emphasizes that proper fit and correct use are critical to player safety. The good news, though, awareness and proper treatment around concussions is growing, and that's a step in the right direction.
We know more about concussions now than what we ever have before. Sports have never been safer. If you think about advances in equipment, advances in knowledge, advances in clinical care, look at the rule changes, the mandatory trainings that people have to go through. There's more and more centers of excellence that are even providing telehealth services for people to get in front of the right provider that really knows what they're doing with this injury.
Now, Dr. Elbin says that it's important for parents to seek a specialist if they're going to help their child get treated. He also says it's on everyone to understand the signs to help keep these young athletes safe. Jacob Luthi, 5 News.
All right, a good report there. Thanks so much for that, Jacob. Well, another news, a jury was selected and opening statements were made in day one of the murder trial against 27-year-old Jason Lawson. Now, Lawson is accused of killing his roommate after an argument last June. A welfare check led police to 33-year-old Benjamin Martin dead at their apartment on the kitchen floor. Lawson was arrested the next day and charged with evidence tampering. Police say he had also poured gasoline on and around the body. The trial will continue this week in Washington County. We'll keep you updated right here on 5 News.
One update in the deadly shooting that happened across the street from Siloam Springs Intermediate School on Friday. Police are sharing the names of the victim and another suspect. Police say the man killed in the shooting was Emmanuel Tucker. They have arrested 19-year-old Braylon Ferris and 15-year-old Kyle McIntyre. The county prosecutor says McIntyre is being charged as an adult in connection with capital murder. Ferris is charged with capital murder, among other charges. You can read more details on our website, 5newsonline.com. Well, now to an update on the Amber Waterman case out of Benton County.
5 News reporter Claire Everbach was in the courtroom and talked to state prosecutors about new developments.
I listened in as Amber Waterman's attorney said that a state psychiatrist found Waterman fit to stand trial. Upon hearing that, Judge Green scheduled a motion hearing for January and a jury trial to begin on April 7th, where Waterman is expected to appear in person.
State prosecutors say when the trial begins in the spring, the process for selecting a jury will take longer than usual because this is a death penalty case. Chief Deputy Prosecuting Attorney Joshua Robinson says seeing movement in the case is providing some relief for the victim's family.
There's a little bit of relief that they can see a light at the end of the tunnel. You know, it's been such a long process that they're hopeful there's actually going to be some closure.
I'm told that for now, Waterman is being held in the Benton County Jail. In Bentonville, covering news where you live, Claire Everbach, 5 News.
No, state flags will fly at half-staff starting today to mourn the death of State Senator Gary Stubblefield. He was born and raised in Charleston and spent a large part of his life serving those in the community he grew up in. Stubblefield represented parts of Franklin, Johnson, Logan, and Sebastian counties. Many in the state's legislature reflected on what he meant to Arkansas, including the governor. One common sentiment, he represented his community with pride.
Think of a man of steel and velvet. And that's pretty large to have that kind of nomenclature put on you, to be a man of steel and velvet. He was tough, he fought, and he was strong when it came to things he believed in.
Governor Sanders' office says she will declare a vacancy followed by a call for a special election to fill his seat. Stubblefield was 74 years old at the time of his death. Well, Ozark Regional Transit is responding after a recent boom in ridership.
5 News reporter Emily Moss is joining us live with more. Good morning, Emily.
Good morning, Joe and Tiffany. Jeff Hatley with Ozark Regional Transit says that there are a few reasons they believe that ridership has spiked so much over the summer. Whether that's that brand new Walmart campus, more people moving to the region and needing more reliable, quick transit, or just their new routes, which have better connected the region's cities. New this summer, ORT has launched a new app for on-demand rides. For $1.25 a ride, users can use the app to request a ride, and a smaller van will come pick them up for the fare. Hatley says if they have a driver, they'll make it work. Hatley says it's less about the money, it's more about just making sure people are able to get to where they need to go.
Private company is all about making a profit, and what can we do to entice people to use our service as opposed to our competitors. Our goal is to give as many rides to people who need rides as possible.
As the need expands, Hatley says that they are looking to expand their hours so they can have full service on Saturdays moving forward. They're also actively hiring so they can get more drivers behind the wheel and make sure that everybody has their right to get to where they need to go. Back to you.
All right, thanks for that information, Emily. Well, the Trump administration confirms its plan to send armed federal military personnel to Chicago. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says that the land of Lincoln will go to court to fight against the deployment. And Chicago's mayor says that there's no need to bring in troops. At least 58 people were shot in Chicago this Labor Day weekend. That's all according to the city's police department. But the Chicago Mayor's Office of Violence Reduction says shootings, including fatalities, are on a downward trend so far this year.
And this morning, House lawmakers will hold a news conference with some of Jeffrey Epstein's victims as they push to make more files on the investigation public. Democrats and some Republicans say Tuesday's drop of more than 33,000 documents contained little new information. Among the documents, victims, interviews, flight logs, and that missing minute from the jail video on the night of Epstein's death. Meanwhile, lawmakers are trying to force a House vote to make more files public.